My dissertation will discuss the influence implicit bias has on police officers during encounters with African American males. As you can easily see by the color of my skin, that it is possible that I may be defined as African American. To clear it up all doubts, I am a black woman. I'm a black woman that works for a university committed to peacemaking. So much so, we have a department dedicated to peacemaking whose mission states that the call to peacemaking is universal and timeless. Since conflict is always with us, its shadow is found in all cultures and all times, beckoning for response. When constructive, it leads to better understanding and deeper relationships. When destructive, it tends toward confusion and separation. The foundation of my research is fundamentally peacemaking and reconciliation, which comes in many forms. I specifically look at implicit bias of police officers and their interactions with black males. Everyone is connected to this in some way. You may have a friend, family member, or coworker who is black or connected to a police officer. You may not think about this, but you would want your loved one to come home at night. The rate of black men's deaths during police involved shootings is something I fear for because of my husband and sons, but I am genuinely passionate about finding a solution. The purpose of this research is to examine the implicit biases of law enforcement officers and those currently working with the local police departments that serve the community. The study will investigate the factors that contribute to police behavior during adverse encounters with African American males. The Capitol Police Department demographic data collection's fourth quarter report showed that although African Americans make up 8% of the population in the respective community, they account for 20% of the arrests from traffic stops. Additionally, the Hispanic population represents 47% of the community population and comprise 47% of the arrests from traffic stops. Conversely, 30% of the population are white, with 24% traffic stops ending in arrest. Although the data does not directly correlate to implicit bias may be one of the contributing factors that officers may not be aware of when dealing with black men. There is a correlation between the professional behavior of police officers and their interactions and arrest rates of each racial group. The data reveals an imbalanced proportion of arrests per the respective populations. Prejudice, bias, and law enforcement behavior are contentious issues that have Americans choosing sides, constructed on media, opinions, and divisiveness. There was some research expressed that the prevailing problems surrounding cognitive biases of how others are viewed revealed how individuals struggle with internal conflict of what they know to believe and what they innately believe. The loss of black lives involving police officers has communities reacting to turbulent events with behaviors regarded as racist and intolerant. Some other research from 2015 questioned the notion of the value of black lives to law enforcement because anyone perceived as a threat is considered a threat, which in turn justifies acceptable deadly force. This is a serious concern for the black community and a personal one for me as I have a son who is 6'8", so he could be perceived as a threat and that could justify deadly force. On the other hand of the issue, proponents argue the high rate of police killings by black perpetrators. Furthermore, the FBI data from 2014 disclosed the deaths of 51 officers by criminals, and it revealed that 42 of the alleged offenders were white and 13 were African American. While there is cause for concern regarding law enforcement and the death of black men, inaccurate evidence propagates the symptoms of underlying problems, which can lead to more deaths of all those who simply want to make it home at night. The goal of this research is to evaluate current training and protocols regarding officers' implicit bias and to increase community and law enforcement awareness of implicit biases that influence decisions during encounters between black men and law enforcement officers. To that end, this is a multifaceted problem that calls for a comprehensive solution. So my goal is to really hone in on the peacemaking aspects of this and finding a solution.